So let's begin with this problem. First, we will do a small calculation. Before that, we have something else to do. The total issue is 20 lakhs. The total issue is 20 lakhs less reserved for for promoters. Reserve for promoters is 5 lakhs. Therefore, the public issue that we are concerned with is basically 15 lakhs. This is what we are going to be concerned with, the public issue. Okay, so we are concerned when we are doing this table, we are going to check only for 15 lakhs. Okay, so now we'll do that other rough calculation that we normally do. So out of public issue, 15 lakhs, total public issue is 15 lakhs. Public issue is 15 lakhs less public firm underwriting, minus the firm underwriting. Firm underwriting is 50,000 each, so it's going to be 1,50,000, and less public subscription. How much the public have subscribed to? And that is 12,97,000. 12,97,000. So basically, the part that nobody has taken up is 15 lakhs. 15 lakhs minus 1,50,000 minus 12,97,000 is 53,000. So basically 53,000 shares have not been taken up by anybody. This 53,000 shares, the underwriters will have to divide among themselves. Okay. So right now we are preparing this statement to show how this 53,000 shares are going to be divided. Fine. So we start with statement showing liability of the underwriter. Another thing that needs to be decided is, since as firm underwriting, they have not told us how to treat firm underwriting, whether credit or benefit is given or not given. So since I've done many problems under benefit not given, I will do this under benefit is given. Okay, not because it's specified anywhere. I'm just choosing to do under benefit given because most of the problems that I've done are benefit not given. Okay, so when benefit slash credit of firm underwriting is given to individual underwriters. So you have the particulars. And the underwriters are Anand, Vijay and Ashok. Okay. We start with gross liability. Now we need to be a little careful here. Though they have said 20 lakh shares, but I told you out of 20 lakhs, we are concerned only with that balance that was offered to the public and was underwritten by the 3 underwriters. And that balance is this 15 lakhs. Okay, like how we have taken it here, 15 lakhs. We are not concerned with 20 lakhs here. Because we know out of 20 lakhs, 5 lakhs will already be taken by the promoters. We are only concerned with 15 lakhs. So 15 lakhs have to be divided equally because they have said offer to the public was underwritten by the three underwriters equally. Okay, so each one takes 1 is to 1 is to 1. So 15 lakhs would be 5 lakhs each. Each one takes responsibility for 5 lakhs. That means if the public had not bought a single share, Anand would have had to take 5 lakh shares, Vijay would have had to take 5 lakh shares, and Ashok would have had to take 5 lakh shares. Less marked applications. Less marked applications. The marked applications are given here. Shares including the marked forms, which were as for here, Anand it's 4,25,000. In case of Vijay, it is 4,50,000. And in case of Ashok, it is 3,50,000. So if I minus this, I will get 75,000 here. This will come to 50,000 and this will come to 1,50,000. Okay. Next, we have less unmarked applications. Unmarked applications. Now, in this problem, I'm not going to add form handwriting to unmarked applications because we have decided to solve under benefit given. Only because we have decided. If I decided to solve under benefit not given to this unmarked applications, whatever the unmarked applications are, I would have added form handwriting as well. Now, to do a small calculation, the total public subscription is 12 lakhs 97. Subscriptions total 12 lakh 97,000. Okay, subscriptions total 12 lakhs 97,000, and from this 12 lakhs 97,000 I need to minus all the marked applications. So if I do the calculation here, this comes to 8 lakhs 12 lakhs 25,000. 12 lakhs 25,000, which is equal to 12 lakhs 97,000 minus 12 lakhs 25,000 comes to 72,000. Comes to 72,000, and they've given us clear instructions. Unmarked applications to be credited to the underwriters equally. Unmarked applications to be credited to the underwriters equally. Okay. So actually, even otherwise also we would have done it equally because the ratio of gross liability is also equal. Anyway, they've told us, so we will do it as the way they have told us. Also, if you've noticed, I've not added firm underwriting here. Why I'm not adding firm underwriting of total firm underwriting of how much? 1,50,000 here, because I'm solving at a benefit given. So I will minus firm underwriting separately. So if I divide 72,000, uh, give me a minute. Yeah, 72,000 divided by 3, I will get 24,000 each. So of the unmarked applications, the benefit given to each of these is 24,000. Okay, so minusing this, we will get 75,000 minus 24,000 will be 51,000. Uh, yeah, 51,000. 50 minus 24 will be 26,000. And 1 lakh 50 minus 24,000 will be 1 lakh 26. 1 lakh 50 minus 24 will come to, yeah, 1 lakh 26,000. Now next we need to minus the firm underwriting because we have not minused it here. We need to minus it separately because we are solving under benefit given. So less firm underwriting less firm underwriting. Each one's firm underwriting is equal 50,000. They've said here with firm underwriting of 50,000 shares each. So that comes to 51,000 minus 50,000 is 1,000. Here there is a surplus of 24,000. And here we have 1,26,000 minus 50 is comes to 76,000. So first we need to divide the surplus before we check anything. So less surplus of Vijay allocated to Anand and Ashok in the ratio of gross liability, which is equal. So if I divide 24,000 in the ratio of 1:1, I will get 12 and 12. 12,000 and this would be 12,000. Okay. Now if you see again there is a surplus. Again there is a surplus. If you see 1,000 minus 12,000 would be 11,000. So there's a surplus again. This can happen. Okay, this can happen. If there is a surplus again, divide the surplus further. 11,000. Here we have nil. And here we have 76. 6 minus 2 is 4. 7 minus 1. 64,000. Yeah, 64,000. So now this guy also has a surplus. So that surplus also has to be given. So less surplus of Anand allocated to Ashok. Okay, because there's just one person. This guy doesn't have anything. So surplus of Anand allocated to Ashok. You don't have to divide it. It's entire 11,000 goes there. So if you minus this now, we have this becomes nil. This becomes nil. And this becomes 64 minus 11 will become 53,000. Okay. Now if you look at this, we were, as per our calculation, 53,000 shares were not taken up by anybody. So basically, if you look at our calculation here, the entire 53,000 has to go to Ashok. The entire 53,000 has to go to Ashok. Okay, is that clear? So we call this liability as per agreement. We call this liability as per agreement. That is, as per agreement, only Ashok has to take up all the shares. And then we add firm underwriting. Add firm underwriting. To know the total shares they all have to take up. So under firm underwriting, each of them have to take up 50,000 shares, 50,000 shares. So the net liability would be, here it's 50,000, 50,000 and 1 lakh 3,000. 1 lakh 3,000. Any questions with regard to this? Any questions with regard to the statement? If you solve under, I think even if you solve under benefit not given, you'll get the same answer. That is, Ashok will have to take up 53,000. Why? Because everything is equal. The firm underwriting, first of all, is all equal. It's all divided also equally. So it almost comes to the same. So you'll get the same answer. Okay, if you want, you can try it out. So I'll go to the next now. Statement showing amount due from underwriters. Amount due to slash due from underwriters. So we have the particulars. Anand, Vijay, and Ashok. We start with the answer of the previous statement. So number of shares to be subscribed by the underwriter. So the total number of shares in case of Anand is 50,000, Vijay it is 50,000, and Ashok it is 1,03,000. Okay, I close this because this is in shares, and from here onwards we go on in rupees. Next, amount payable on application at the rate of rupees. We'll have to see now how much. The issue price face value of the share is 10. Okay, but on application, we are collecting the amounts payable on application and allotment for rupees 2.50. Right now, we are only concerned with application here at rupees 2.50 per share. So multiply 2.50 with this, and we will get uh, we get 1,25,000. Then here we have 1,25,000 because it's the same. And here we have 1,03,000 into 2.50 comes to 2,57,500. Just check that. 2,57,500. Yes. Okay. So, and we know that out of this, they've already paid on firm underwriting because these shares include firm underwriting as well. Okay, and so we minus the amount that has already been paid on firm underwriting, less amount paid on firm application or firm underwriting at the rate of rupees 2.50 per share. So multiply each one's firm underwriting. So 2.50 into 50,000 will be 1,25,000. Same for all, 1,25,000 and 1,25,000. Okay, and then we say balance. This becomes balance payable by underwriters. Balance payable by underwriters. So in case of Anand, it's nil. In case of Vijay, it is nil. But in case of Ashok, it is minus 1,25,000 comes to 1,32,500. Again, I told you at this point you can check. If you see here, liability as per agreement, Anand and Vijay don't have to take up anything, hence they do not have to pay anything. But Ashok has to take up 53,000 shares. So if you multiply 53,000 by 2.50, you surely will get this. Okay, so it's 1,32,500. So that's the amount that is payable by the underwriters to the company. So Anjan and Vijay do not have to pay anything. They've already paid for their firm application. Only Ashok has to pay. Next, we see what the company has to pay the underwriters. So less underwriting commission. Anand, Vijay, and Ashok. Anand, Vijay, and Ashok. Okay. So always on the gross liability, commission is payable always on the gross liability. So here it's 5 lakhs each. It will be the same. 5 lakhs into the issue price, not the face value, but in this problem, the issue price and the face value is the same, that's rupees 10, into the rate of commission, which in this problem is given to us as 2.5%. Rate of commission as is given as 2.5%. Okay, so for all it will be the same because they all have the same liability. So calculating that, that comes to 1,25,000. That comes to 1,25,000. It's the same commission because their gross liability was equal. And we need to see who has to pay whom. Now, in case of Anand, the underwriter does not have to pay the company anything. So it's only the company that has to pay. So it's going to be the company that's paying him. In case of Vijay also, the underwriter does not have to pay anything. It's only the company that has to pay him the commission. So 1,25,000. And in case of Ashok has to pay 1,32,500. The company has to pay Ashok 1,25,000. So finally, if you check the difference, would be Ashok will have to pay the company 7,500. Okay, and we call this amount due to slash due from underwriters. Due to slash due from underwriters. Any questions, students? Okay, so now we are going to move on to the journal entries. Journal entries in the books of Libra Limited. I think that's the name of the company. Journal entries in the books of Libra Limited. Particulars, debit and credit. Okay. Now, just one thing that will be slightly different in this problem is one thing that will be slightly different. We will have an additional entry because the total issue is actually 20 lakhs. Okay, so we have solved the problem, whatever statements we have done, we have just handled 15 lakhs. But when we're passing the entries, we are also going to show an entry for this 5 lakh shares. They're reserved for the promoters, but the promoters also will pay the money. Okay, the promoters are issued to the promoters also will pay the money. So we are going to show an entry for this 5 lakh shares. Okay, we are going to show an entry for this 5 lakh shares. So normally it would be, I don't know whether you all have ever passed an entry for when it's issued. We just have one entry. It would be bank account debit to share capital account. We don't have that bank account when it's for promoters. We don't have bank account to share application to share capital because we are sure how much is going to come in. If we have said reserve 5 lakhs for the promoters, we know those promoters are going to take up everything because they've asked for it, or it's given to them. Sometimes what happens is even in many times problems you normally have this entry as goodwill account debit to share capital because normally they don't accept money from the promoters because the promoters are the people who have set up the company. So as a gesture or as kind of a payment, okay, they give them shares in the company, and that time we put it as goodwill account debit to share capital. But here, the promoters are paying. Nothing has been told to us that it's given free or it's given in kind or they're just given shares in the company. We are assuming that they are paying for the shares, and that is going to be bank account debit to share capital. Okay, and how much are they paying on application? Basically, they are paying 2.50. So I will show it as 2.50 here. 5 lakh shares into rupees 2.5, and if I multiply 5 lakhs into 2.50, I will get 12 lakhs 50,000. 12 lakhs 50,000. The ratio will be being shares issued, or I can put being 5 lakh shares issued to promoters and rupees 2.50 received on application, and rupees 2.50 received on application. Okay, any questions with regard to this? Fine. We go on to the next one. Now we go on to the regular entries, bank account, the public issue, firm underwriting, all that. So the first will be bank account, debit to share application account, bank account, debit to share application account. Okay, now we are talking about 15 lakhs here, public issue, but actually when the applications were received, the applications were only 12 lakh 97,000 and the firm underwriting. So when we are calculating here, it's going to be 12 lakhs 97,000 plus firm underwriting, which is 50,000 each, so 1 lakh 50,000. That comes to 12 lakhs 97,000. That will come to plus 1 lakh 50,000, comes to 14 lakhs 47,000 into rupees 2.5 into rupees 2.5. Okay, because applications from the public are received on 12 lakhs 97,000 shares plus firm underwriting, which comes to 14 lakhs 47,000 into rupees 2.5. So that comes to 36 lakhs 17,500. 36 lakhs 17,500. 36 lakhs 17,500. So being application money received on 14 lakhs 47,000 shares at the rate of rupees 2.50 per share. You can also go a little ahead and explain how you get this 14 lakh 47,000. 12 lakhs 97,000 shares from the public and 1 lakh 50,000 shares on firm underwriting. Okay, this, if you want, you can go ahead. This is just explaining how I got these amounts. So bank account debit to share application account. And the next thing is transfer this to the share capital. Share application account debit to share capital account. Share application account debit to share capital account. Now we know in the share application we have 36 lakhs 17,500. In the share capital account, How many shares were issued to the public? 15 lakhs. Okay, 5 lakhs, we've already seen how 5 lakhs has been settled. It's settled with the promoters. 15 lakhs has been issued to the public. So we transfer the entire 15 lakhs to the share capital account into rupees 2.50. Now if I multiply 15 lakhs into 2.50, I will get, comes to 37 lakhs 50,000. 37 lakhs 50,000. Now the question is, who's going to do this difference? Now if you check, always the balance payable by underwriters, 1,32,500. So if you add 1,32,500 to this, I think it should come to that. Yes, 36, 1,32,500 are the balance shares that nobody took up, those 53,000 shares, which is going to be taken up by Ashok. Which is going to be taken up by Ashok. So Ashok's account debit. So in this problem, it's just one underwriter who has to take up the balance. Ashok's account debit. So this is the application money received from the public and from on account of firm underwriting. The balance that nobody has taken up, those 53,000 shares, this is 53,000 shares into 2.50, which Ashok is going to take up, and the entire issue is subtracted. The public issue has been subtracted. So being application money transferred to share capital account and the balance adjusted towards underwriters. Underwriter towards underwriter because it's just one underwriter. Okay. Next is the underwriting commission that needs to be recorded. So underwriting commission account debit to all the underwriters. Ashok's, sorry, not Ashok, Anand, Vijay, and Ashok. We have Anand first. Anand account to Vijay's account and to Ashok's account. So that becomes each one, I think, gets 1,25,000, like we have calculated here. 1,25,000. So that comes to 3,75,000. Being being underwriting commission payable recorded. Being underwriting commission payable recorded. And finally, we have to see who has to pay whom. And then we'll also have to pass entries for allotment. Okay. So here we have finally first we have to see who has to pay whom. Now in case of Anand and Vijay, the company has to pay these two because they didn't have to pay the company anything. Okay, so we will pass those entries first. Anand's account debit, Vijay's account debit to bank because the company is paying and they are paying them I think 1,25,000. Yes, 1,25,000. So this comes to 2,50,000 being being amount paid to underwriters after adjusting underwriting commission. being amount paid to underwriters after adjusting underwriting commission. And similarly, uh, in case of Ashok, Ashok has to pay the company 7,500. So it's going to be bank account debit to Ashok's account, bank account debit to Ashok's account. That's going to be 7,500 and 7,500. Being amount received from underwriters or underwriter only after adjusting underwriting commission. After adjusting underwriting. And the last entry will be for allotment, share allotment account. So first we have share allotment account debit to share capital. Share allotment account debit to share capital. Now I will take the entire 20 lakhs because I know I'm going to receive money on the entire 20 lakhs. The public, underwriters and the promoters. So 20 lakhs into rupees. How much is it on allotment? The allotment is 2. So 20 lakhs into rupees 2 will give me 40 lakhs. So being allotment money due on 20 lakh shares at the rate of rupees 2 per share. This is the allotment entry for amount due, and then we pass an entry for the receipt of allotment money, bank account debit to share allotment account, which is 40 lakhs. Being allotment money received on 20 lakh shares at the rate of rupees 2 per share.